Patrick, I wanted to ask you, what would you say are the biggest mistakes that you need to avoid when you come to taxes in the United States?
I think one of the biggest issues is people tend to set up the structure before they talk to a tax expert. And once they've talked to a tax expert, they realize that the structure they set up is not ideal. Changing the structure once you have it in place and the property is already purchased can be a little bit more complicated. So typically that's why we recommend to try to get the expertise and the advice before you set up the structure, or at least before you file the first tax return, in order to make sure that you're set up in the correct way. Otherwise, you may find yourself in a spot that you can't undo. I think the other aspect of it too is a lot of people tend to rely on somebody they think that gave them good advice, and the person is not necessarily experienced with dealing with non-residents in the US, and the advice they're giving them is not correct for a non-resident, because the rules, the tax rules and the tax structures for a non-resident is completely different than those for a US resident or US citizen. So it's important to make sure that whoever you're speaking to has the experience and knowledge based on your situation, and not just a general concept that maybe they're just not experts in.